Okay, Catherine. So here are some initial research materials and brainstorming ideas. I see that. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and take a look. So the one thing I'm seeing, well, actually, let's go through this chronologically. So we have you got your source. That's great. Thank you for including that. And we have your bio information. Outstanding. You got a couple of different images to choose from. That's always great. Variety is nice, right? Then over here, we start in with our ideas. Now, one thing I want to mention is I'm going to go over to this assignment page, particularly this project part one page, and I just want to bring your attention to this right down here, this week 5 Nobel parts 1 and 2, and under milestones. So under parts 1 and 2, research and laureate, provide your name. You did that. Biography paragraphs, you got that. Photo, you've got that. Dates and events for your time, you got that. Create several thumbnail sketches of various layouts for both the front and the back. So what you've done here is you've given a lot of ideas, but I don't necessarily see layout ideas for the front and the back. Now my recommendation is this: is I always start with my concept sketches, my ideas. So a lot of my sketchbook pages look like this. Where I just got a bunch of ideas. Then I go into the kind of digital, I'm sorry, the manual sketching thumbnail stage. And that's where you actually depict your layout ideas. We don't have layout ideas here. This is particularly important. I think your studies are great. They're fantastic. I'll talk about them in a second, but you definitely want to actually go in and mock up, sketch your several examples. And when I say several examples, I'm getting that right from here. Create several thumbnail sketches of various layouts for both the front and the back of the poster. Okay, so we need that. We need at least 4 ideas for the front of the poster and 4 ideas for the back of the poster, just to accommodate that several ideas. Okay, so your ideas here are good. Now this typeface right here is really difficult to read, and her name is really difficult to pronounce, and she's also not necessarily a household name. So I would use the most legible typeface I possibly could. This typeface here also, it seems like those are 4s. I haven't seen the actual typeface, but you really want to be careful here because that name is very, very difficult to pronounce anyways, okay? So you've got some ideas here. Now, it looks like that's a front and that's a back. Now, that's interesting because you're incorporating trees. So you're creating meaning based on some of her accolades or some of her accomplishments, right? Being with the planting trees, right? So that's a good plan. Now, so this, I'm not real sure how this would work. If this would be the front of the poster, it wouldn't work. And let me tell you why. Because all of your ideas and thoughts and messaging should be created typographically, right? Not illustratively. Let me give you an example, and I've been using this example a lot. So note this. This is creating a message, right? But it's doing so typographically. That illustration is incorporated right into the type as opposed to being presented over here with standard type. If that were the case, it wouldn't work because the message isn't being created typographically. We need to create our messaging using typography, and I want you to notice that that also continues into the timeline at the back of the poster. Okay, so what I would like to see you do for Sunday submission is I would like to see you actually assemble at least 4 examples of the front of the poster and 4 examples of the back of the poster sketched out with all of the requirements in place. I think that your concept is very, very smart. I think you're incorporating trees right into the typography or branches, or that's good. That's fantastic. That's how it's done. I don't necessarily see a depiction of a timeline other than this right here. And it's important to note that a timeline is something that should be basically designed. Okay, so this wouldn't work as a timeline. Basically, this is just a listing of chronological events. Okay, that's not a timeline. A timeline is a listing of chronological events designed. Okay, so think about that. All right, so great start. If you have any questions, and moving forward to Sunday's final submission, I would like to see at least 4 iterations sketched out of the front of the poster and 4 iterations of the back of the poster. And then you can incorporate your design ideas right in there as well. Okay, hope I'm making sense. Let me know if I'm not, because this is pretty important stuff. Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. And of course, the important thing right now is to let me know if you have any questions at all. All right, great. Thank you very much.